someone gave 40 years of their working life to one place, and before the next week, they were replaced. I was interpreting at this for a deaf colleague, and yeah, it was a very high demand place. And we had news that this other colleague had passed on. They had a heart attack, and yeah, it was sudden. We were all shocked because there was no illness, nothing. It just happened. And the next I went and realized, oh, somebody else was already sitting down on their space. I'm like, aren't we mourning someone? No. Hi, I am Nene, and I help people become the person their goals require them to be. And everything that I share here is something that I have lived first. And then we get to talk about it. And this is part of a series that I'm doing where I share stories of things that have stood out to me that stayed with me from the 20 odd years that I have been doing this job as a freelance sign language interpreter. And yeah, this is one of those ones that really got to me because I supported a client while this news came in. And in this department is one of those departments that supports the bigger government. And it's a place that is so highly driven by data. Like they have targets they have to meet. They have different like structures and different things that gets to like happen. There's a lot of KPIs that targets and this and that and quarterly numbers. We have to how many people were set so many different parts, moving parts of making this thing happen to support the, the government at large. And this colleague was in a managerial role, and you would think that this was their company, that they were like the CFO or like the CEO or something. The way they would like go ahead and like, oh man, you're not you like you, they would work late. They would like try to make sure that everything is structured. They would they were doing too much, in my opinion, anyway. It was just one of those ones that you feel like, okay, yes, I am, you know, I'm doing my thing. I'm I'm checking in. Everything is, you know, you would think it was their business. It was their and which is great to a degree. But at the same time, it's one of those things that when you really look at the bigger picture, the system itself isn't cold, right? It is not that the it's just how it was built. Because it was never built for me the way looking in to really accommodate people or to support people is about it's like a conveyor belt, like let's go, numbers, let's go. What's happening? Like target, this, and this person they're running about doing the thing, da, 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 da. Like the environment makes for this like machine. Let's go. Do you hit it? No, you're not doing you're not being meeting to your numbers, your targets. You're not doing this. You're not doing that. Like on and on and on and on and on. This went like it felt. It wasn't like it was pressurized. It was just you have to be on the go, doing all the time. That even like it. You, this just also reminded me of something that I saw where this high profile company of somebody that I know, like a founder setup, like they had their own thing going, where this assistant had poured so much into this company. They have put in their work, their hours, and the companies that are growing and expanding to the point that other companies were interested in them and wanted to buy them out and stuff like that. The company got sold. And in that sale and the new ownership came new rules, a new way of dealing with things, to the point where this person was putting so much energy and work to make this business grow. This person has now sold the company, and all that effort that you put in, it's gone now. Because now this new person is now saying, okay, this is how we roll. So all that you're doing, I mean, it's a great area for me, like this, seeing that example of this colleague that is gone, and then now how this person is kind of like sobered out. You put in that, and then they sell and they've moved on, and you are now out. That I then now seeing my mentors, how they did it right. Because when I saw what happened to the lady, and like, because honestly, it just baffled me, because that space for that lady was like a sanctuary. It's like, it's like she had all her things. You know how you have your drawers with your stuff, with your cups, with your thing. You have your pictures, your favorite plant flower, all your teddies, like all the things. Some people will like just make the space personalized, and then going in after the fact, everything was cleared out. All those things that would let you know that that was her space was gone. And then somebody else, I don't know how they was comfortably sitting there doing the thing. Just baffled me. It really did. Because when you now start watching this other person, they also act as if they own the place. And then when that happened, it's crazy. So when I heard about how and weakness, because I'm still in that with the institute, how they were like, oh no, we're not being bitten, because they had helped someone else build up their own business. And now this person's business has just gone into the eight figure and beyond and stuff like that. And then somebody else then approached them to be like, okay, let's help me build mine. You've helped that person, help me. And they're like, if we're going to do this, we're going to have some stake in this thing. We're going to have to partner in this creation, so that we then have a stake in what and how this thing runs. And I was like, my goodness, good for you, lady. Like, that's the way to do it. Like, have some skin in the game. And it also reminded me of another person who is also a what's the word? Starter founder kind of thing. And some of her go-to people, she gave them stake in there so that they can actually do the work. Because sometimes you can be resentful and not want to do the thing. I don't know if I'm making sense, and if you guys see, if you guys, if you see what I'm talking about. Because there is another company here, which is a retail company, this groceries, household, and all those things. They actually, each person that works there has a stake, a share in the company. And I thought, how a genius idea that is, that you are actually working towards your own share of the profit. No matter how small it is, like, combine more, whatever. But for working there, you get a stake. You get like a bonus from doing your thing. And yeah, it's just fascinating. And it just reminded me of like, oh yeah, how quick you're easily replaced. And now if you're not mindful, you could be sold out. And for me, like what I'm taking from this is just knowing that if you're when you're going into a venture, people you have to have that clarity in what it is that you're doing and what it is that you're putting so much that sometimes your health is affected or whatever, or you pour out all these years and then you no longer even get a golden wristwatch once it's done after all those years anymore. It's now like, yeah, thank you, see ya. And then you have to go and handle like some petty pension. So yeah, it's just really thinking about, okay, what kind of like, I don't know, when one goes into a joint venture or stuff like that, or working on someone like there has to be like some stake into something. There's this I was watching not watching one of these programs that I went on to, and the main person, yeah, my company is an eight-figure comp business and things like that. And the person who was running the training themselves, I'm like, I hope you have a stake in this bigger thing than just having a salaried amount every month or like this is how much you. Because if this person is now saying, I'm making this great thing, and you are actually one of the core people delivering the business, and if they've had enough and they want to like sell it on or close it down, you're out. So just gonna be thinking like this person did so much and is still doing actually for this company. And I truly hope that they do have a share in the bigger collective bonus or something, or somehow to justify the reward than, oh, this is a great amount we paid as a salary employed person, because they're doing too much. So it's just kind of like I'm just, how do I, stake the theme, and how I have a young man in the house right now, and it's like just thinking about, okay, how much money can I like the hourly like stuff like we have to think bigger than that. And it's trying to get him to understand that it's not just, oh, I do this many hours, I get this many money. It's like da, da, da. Like start thinking in like, what can I get a stake in this? Or what can I do to like create my own thing and be like, oh, how much are we earn? Like how am I earning this week? I made this many hours, I'm making this and that, and just looking at like my thing as well. I mean, I freelance, so it's I don't know, it's not something I can say I can have a stake in this in a whatever. It's more contracted form, I guess, in the approach I'm in my capacity. But it just got me thinking with the excitement and the interest of one of my human being excited, like, oh, I'm gonna be earning this much money, and thinking, no, we get to think bigger and out of the box. And in the same token as well, it's how much you're giving a stake into something, or how the people at the top just drive. I know I'm going on a tangent now, but the core thing for me was when you give so much to a thing, which I appreciate and do, if you're not careful, you can be sold out, you know? And I'm also thinking like, I'm not even sure I want to get to that point where I have a company that I would have to employ people in that way. I think I have seen and witnessed other people who have been successful in just doing their own thing, and then in specific things they contract it out, or they just use like a freelance for a particular thing, then having to have like, because that's it's a really interesting tough one to think about. I don't really have like, I'm just processing this thing out loud right now, because that happened, and seeing this other news that I heard about this sellout and how much this person had poured in, and just feeling for them, thinking this person promised them, and even though they tried with everything, they negotiated, still when the new people came in, they changed it all, and it's like, hmm, how do one protect oneself in that way? And it's not a case of like, oh, don't put in your word, or I don't know. It's just, I don't know how people, how it lands for people, or how people like, what you think. Like, if what I've talked about, if it stirred anything for you, if you're feeling any waves in like in that. Yeah. If anything landed that I talked about, that makes sense. Yeah, and if you haven't done so already, subscribe, because we do this every single day. We come in with like different identity reading stuff, and yeah, reflective. I'm still processing it right now. It's still kind of like, I don't know how and what, but it is a thing that when you come from that scarcity employment mindset, it's like give and take, then let me negotiate, or like, this is have my stake. I've built something, and now this person's like it. But yeah, we do this every single day. Remember that your voice matters, and it is your time to use it. Bye for now.